It seems like if it's not broken, then don't fix it, but chisel it and refine it. And that seems to be the case and objective with the new Z Fold 5 from Samsung. The real question is, will it be enough of an upgrade from the Fold 4 or even the 3 or 2? And considering a strong gear of foldables from the competition, can the Z Fold 5 still hold supreme? Hi, Ben from SamMobile. If you enjoy new and exclusive videos like this, then be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos here on SamMobile TV. Here is our quick, hands-on and early impressions of the Z Fold 5. Design and build quality of the Z Fold 5 looks to follow up on what feels very familiar to the previous model, with new refinements to style and design. One of the easiest ways to spot the new Fold 5 is the addition of the icy blue color alongside the phantom black and cream color that we've come to know from before. We see another weight reduction by 10 grams down to 253 grams, which compared to the Fold 4 isn't that noticeable, but still very welcome for the nature of the device. Now, the biggest takeaway is finally having a near zero gap hinge when the device is fully closed, while still maintaining an IPX rating. This is definitely a better look for the device and should help prevent small particles from easily entering and covering the inner display. We now also have the use of Gorilla Glass Victus 2 applied to both the flex window outer display and the back cover, backed with the improved zero gap hinge, and also what Samsung are calling a shock dispersion layer and a redesigned back for a more solid display. Using a dual rail structure, the flex hinge experience is said to be smoother and more durable with the continued use of armor aluminium, which has been refined. But again, only time will really tell. With a mix of visual and non-visual improvements to the Z Fold 5, this is Samsung's idea of refinement at its best. Whether it will be enough, again, only time will tell. For the size and form factor of the display, everything you know and love about the Z Fold 4 is still here. From the outer display using a 6.2-inch display with a 23.1:9 aspect ratio, a dynamic AMOLED 2X panel using the same 2316:904 resolution, and an adaptive refresh rate between 428 and 120 Hz. Same for the main inner display, which uses the same 7.6-inch size, a 21.6:18 aspect ratio, the same resolution at 2176:1812 with an LTPO-based display with a refresh rate between 1 to 120 Hz. Now, the main improvement is to the brightness, as now you do have an increase to 1750 nits like found in the S23 Ultra, which is definitely a welcome addition to the display experience. You still of course have S Pen support for the inner display, but still not for the outer display. You will still need a special Fold Edition S Pen. Samsung does improve the S Pen Fold Edition by making it slimmer and more compact. Plus, with the new slim S Pen case, it does make packaging the S Pen together with the Fold easier. Still a far cry from having an integrated housing for the S Pen, but nonetheless, still good. Only time will tell if this again is a case of deja vu part 2 with the display experience, but for now, these are the improvements. For the specs and performance, we now have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 mobile platform built for Galaxy chip with 12GB of LPDDR5X RAM and the option of 256, 512GB and 1TB of fast UFS storage. Battery capacity is still the same at 4,400 milliamps with the same 25-watt wire charging, 15-watt wireless charging and power share at 4.5 watts. With the proven record and efficiency that comes with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy, Samsung is confident in increasing battery life even with the same size capacity battery. An increase in the size to around 4,800 would have been great, but for now, let's hope for an improvement to what we have. The camera system builds on the improvements brought to the hardware of the Fold 4 and takes elements of the refinements found on the Galaxy S23. The rear cameras use a triple camera system like before with a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, a main 50-megapixel sensor, which is now capable of 8K 30 frames per second with less crop, and a 3x 10-megapixel optical zoom, and a 10-megapixel selfie for the outer cover display. Now, the under-display camera is still 4 megapixels with an f1.8 lens, meaning we are still limited to 1080p. There's no real mention of any major hardware improvements to the under-display camera, but more on the improvements to the image processing thanks to the new and improved ISP that comes with the new SoC. When looking at the camera UI, it still looks like the ultra-wide is limited to shooting video at 4K 30 frames a second with no option of 4K 60 FPS like on the S23. And of course, still no ability to switch between the rear lenses when recording in 4K 60 like you can do in 4K 30 on the same clip. On the software side, we do have Android 13 running on One UI 5.1.1. Check out our full breakdown of One UI 5.1 from our previous videos. What's new with One UI 5.1.1 on the Fold 5 is the improved taskbar, which allows for a more seamless flow in switching between your most frequently used apps with 4 recent apps up from 2 recent apps. A newly enhanced two-handed drag and drop feature when in an app like Samsung Gallery can make for an even more efficient way of moving an image to another app like Samsung Note for maximum productivity. Hidden pop-up also allows an app to continue running in the background while, for example, watching video content in full screen with no interruptions. Hopefully, we will have more to discover with One UI 5.1.1 once we have our review units in for testing. This overall looks to be a solid refinement to the already top-tier Fold software experience which Samsung pioneered. Pricing of the Galaxy Z Fold 5 starts at £1,749 for the 256GB model and £1,849 for the 512 and up to £2,049 for the 1TB. General availability will be from 11th of August with pre-orders going live on the 26th of July. This indeed is a slight price increase from before, so let us know your thoughts on the Z Fold 5 in the comments section below. For the latest news in the world of Samsung Daily, be sure to visit us at SamMobile.com. And for the latest videos on YouTube with SamMobile TV, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, and we'll see you next time.